What is going on, guys? This is Platinum Point, and I'm here to bring you guys yet again another discussion video. This one is going to be about investing in Weiss Schwarz, whether it be buying singles or buying playsets. So let's get on to kind of my to the nitty gritty. So here are some of my main points that I'll be discussing today. So we'll be discussing the pros and cons for buying singles, the pros and cons for buying playsets, what I would do, my final thoughts, and some recommendations for you guys. So before we get into it, I wanted to say, um, thank you to Jack from 36 Cancel for allowing me to collab with him once again, because it was a great opportunity. And for those who came in, welcome. Hope you guys enjoy this video. So don't forget to like this video, comment below on what you guys would like me to discuss in the near future, subscribe, and hit that notification button. So without further ado, let's get on to the main meats and potatoes of this discussion. So we're going to be talking about the pros and cons of buying singles. So one of the benefits of buying singles is you get to differentiate between what you want to buy. So instead of just looking through the whole set from just buying a playset and having to just deal with all that fluff, if you have a clear idea of what you want to build, buying singles is actually pretty good for you, since you don't have to worry about all that extra fluff, or in a sense some people might see it as wasting money. So being able to cut that fat and just focus straight on what you need is good. Also, if you wanted to build your deck max rarity instead of just getting it as a double rare, like as the base playset of double rares and below, you can pretty much just piecemeal the deck with max rarities through buying it single through the secondary market. And it's good for those who want to build from the sequel sets, if they have already had an existing deck, or if they have a playset of the base set. So like, for example, if you have the first ReZero set, you don't necessarily have to buy a playset of the second ReZero set or even Frozen Bond. You could just single out what you need and just put them, and then just add them to whatever existing build that you have. So this is usually there for veteran players, so that way they don't have to constantly just unload a unnecessary amount of money. The con about this is if you come in late, you're kind of at the mercy of the secondary market, depending on the set. Like, look at Konosuba, where the 3-2 early play Aqua from set 2 is like around $60. And that's because it's been out of print for such a long time, and the demand for it is such a high amount that it warrants that price. And like, going hand in hand with that secondary market, you are putting yourself at the mercy of market scarcity, because since Bushro does limit their printing, you're kind of at their mercy. And another thing, and this is not a knock to TCG Player at all, I actually like TCG Player. I buy from them all the time. That's my go-to for singles. But if you're a beginner at this, you do have that fear of not receiving your shipment either on time, or as you're not guaranteed that what they release online is what you're going to receive through the shipment. So, and that's just a risk that you take whenever you purchase from individuals, as TCG Player is basically kind of the middleman for these people. It's a platform for them to sell, like eBay. So you have to just be careful and make educated decisions. So that's why you always search which stores or which individuals are selling the single and look at their ratings before making a final purchase, because sometimes, even if you have to pay a little bit more, and if they're trusted, it's kind of worth that price sometimes. So we're gonna be now talking about buying playsets. So for beginners, this is actually really beginner friendly for you, because if you have no idea what the set does, or no idea what the game, like you're just getting into the game for the first time, like being able to purchase a playset allows you the opportunity to kind of mess with the set. I still recommend you get the trial deck to learn the basic mechanics, but in order like just deck building in general, buying a playset is really good for beginners. You don't have to worry about buying the singles once you buy a playset because you have everything within that set. The only time you would have to worry about buying singles is if you're going into their sequel sets as well, which is again that's usually better for veteran players. Also, an addendum to the buying singles is if you do the other approach, which is about buying playset, which is buying a case with a friend. When you split that case, you're each guaranteed a playset. Since usually a case of Weiss Schwarz, since it's all mapped out, you usually will get two playsets of the base double rare and below. So being able to do that, you are able to just get what you need and build the be able to mess with the sets. Um, Another benefit of buying playsets is if your LGS offers it, you don't have to worry about the whole shipping issue as it's right there, and all you have to and it also helps you support your LGS, your local game store. The cons is that the initial price is a bit expensive at the beginning. Some of those prices usually range from 325 to 367 to some being as high as 370. So just knowing just that initial price does seem discouraging for some players. So this is usually a con for those who are on a budget. So and it another thing to add on to that is if you are going into multiple sets, whether you play both English or JP or English and JP, if you play both, sometimes they do overlap the release dates, which means buying playsets become a little bit more um wallet breaking if you're buying multiple at the same time. So sometimes you have to just make the tough decision of just letting one set go. And if you're confident that it comes to English, you will have an opportunity to buy it again. If you so always just be like you have to kind of just read the make careful predictions and read the market carefully. And it's true with both buying singles and buying places. You just gotta make that you gotta take the time to read the market and make careful decisions. Another thing that might make it hard or discouraging to buy a playset is if this set is in high demand, like take Data Life for example, you might not be guaranteed to get it, especially because if all the other stores or all the other people buy it out in mass, like a lot of people do it, you might not be able to get the playset because someone may have bought the the last one in their inventory and you're late. So it does kind of suck if you when buying playsets because a lot of people tend to do that. And it's oft common the most popular way of deck building just buying playsets. So what would I do in this situation? So it really depends on your financial situation. You don't want to make really unwise decisions. You want to make the best decision possible for your situation. So like for me, depending on if I really like the set, I'll go into the play set. If I already have a clear idea of what I want, I'll buy the singles and I'll usually just buy a playset of those singles so that way I can mess with the ratios. So another thing that I'd also do is if I really like this series and I don't care about that like take biting the bullet, I'll buy multiple like a playset of the base set, a playset of the sequel set, just because I like that series that much. But it all depends on the situation. Like I don't just impulse buy. I tend to just weigh my options and see what's the more feasible amount at that situation. So in conclusion, like for this part, just make the best decision based on your situation and balance it with your interest in the series. Also, another thing I would add on to it, if you think it's going to come into English, if you're investing in JP and you just want to wait, go ahead, just wait and just watch how the metagame develops in JP with that set and then just go in with that information when you invest in the English version of that set. I sometimes buy both the JP and English version just so I can experiment it, get a hands-on experience with the set. I did that with Bunny Girl. I did that with Data Live. Um, I did that with Bunny Girl, and I'm doing it with Data Live. I'm trying to remember what other set I've done that with. I did it with Fate Apocrypha. Um, Man, there's so many sets that I went into that I got doubles just so I can practice. So it really depends on the situation, honestly. So my closing thoughts is Weiss Schwarz is a game where the set is so easily mapped out. So no matter what approach you take, make sure you just make the best decision based on your finances. You don't have to worry about like short prints. So usually the so for double R's and below, you don't have to worry about that much of a scarcity issue. You just got to worry about whether Bushiro prints a lot of that set and how popular how much of in demand it is, because sometimes the singles will run up depending on that how much Bushiro prints. So you got to keep an eye on that. Also, I did have a collaboration with Jack from 36 Cancel discussing that very issue. So I'm going to put a link in the description below to that video. Please check it out. That discussion, me and Jack kind of just tossed ideas and figured out what would we do to kind of fix the situation, or why do we think this situation occurs. So lastly, this is my recommendations. So what would, like, sites that I would shop at. So first of all, for singles, like my ideal one is TCG Player, as it does give you the most competitive price, and you can usually eke out really good deals on singles if you order it through them. For products and playsets, I recommend going to Ideal 808 or Strictly Broken TCG. I've shopped at both of their shops, and they both have been extremely reliable, and I still do business with both of them whenever I need to get stuff. If you want to build Japanese Weiss, the singles English speaking store that I go to is Nova TCG, where you can buy the singles from them, and you can even buy playsets if they sell it. I know sometimes they don't sell playsets, so you just got to keep an eye on that what they do. But they're a really reliable store. For European players, I would also check your card market if you're investing in English singles, because that's your guys' version of TCG Player. So ultimately, just make sure that you just visit any store that you think is good, but prioritize your local game store, because they are the lifeblood of your Weiss Schwarz community. So always support them first, and then that way they know that there's an interest in the game, so that they can continue buying product for you guys. And if they do run out of stock, use the other options that I've listed in this slide. So that's it for the video. So want to say thanks for watching this video. Thanks for sticking to up to this point. Don't forget to once again like this video, comment below what you guys would like me to discuss next time, and subscribe and hit the notification button. Once again, this is Platinum Point signing out. Stay on point, guys, and peace out.